you to break. Hi.
Hello. Oh my goodness. So we had a word leaning on this,
and
it fell and made a very big noise, which you probably heard. Anyway, hello. Let's start with a bang. Okay, I'm Patty.
I am Carrie.
And we are StudioR12 Stencils, and we are here to share with you DIY projects. And today we have got a doozy for you.
We have a brand new collection of some really fun surfaces. We've been working on this for several months.
Several months, yeah.
And we know that our theme for this is fall, and a lot of you are probably like, it just turned
we know
spring.
it's May.
However, in this industry, when you take time painting projects, and if you're going to be painting to sell, it can take a while to paint some of these projects. So we always like to be a season ahead to give you time to do what you need to do with your
So we're just starting summer, which means that we should be full on into fall and Halloween and that kind of thing. So that is what our goal always is. And then it takes I'm not whining about it, but it takes quite a bit. You have to design the pieces, you have to prototype the pieces, you have to make the products for the pieces, you have to do mock-ups and imagery for the pieces, and then finally get them on your website. And then you have to paint samples, and then you have to make videos. So it's like blah, like there's a lot. It's very involved.
Yes,
so it's important for us to get a big running leap, and so we have, and here we are, and we're on time.
Yes.
Dun, 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 victory stance.
So we are StudioR12 Stencils. We do stencils and crafts and DIY and all the really fun things. And you can find us on StudioR12.com, where we have literally thousands of products for you to shop from. And with those thousands of products, many of our stencil and surfaces have lots and lots of different sizes. And so we have a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah. Honestly, if you were looking for a one-stop stencil shop, we would be the one to go to. I'm pretty certain that between our sizes and our titles, we're about 7,000 titles, and with sizes, it puts us at like 35,000 total stencil files that we cut and print and do all the things. So it's a lot. We have a lot for you.
Yes.
So that is a good place to start. If you ever need help, we have our customer service phone number right at the top. She's going to be mad I said that. However, she is the best customer service ever.
She absolutely is. And then we also have our Facebook page and our YouTube channel for all kinds of lessons, anything that you are looking for. We go live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. And our Tuesdays are more of a chatty conversation. We have you guys ask us questions and give you the information that you want to know. And then our Saturday videos are more succinct, and they are typically a specific project or a lesson or a technique that we think that you might want to know.
Yeah, and on the Saturday videos, so Saturday videos are not the chatty back and forth because it's one of us or the other or Lena or whomever we've got in front of the camera. But the Saturday videos, I choose them for either color selection or technique selection and that kind of thing. But it makes it, I think, a better lesson if we complete a project with it. Yeah. So don't forget that if you want to ombre, you can ombre in any color you want to. So if the lesson has, red ombre going into purple and you don't want red and purple, then you can easily do pastel pink going into whatever. So you can do whatever colors you want. Just remember that it's the technique itself that we're trying to show. So,
yeah. Agreed. This weekend on our YouTube channel, I do not have it in here, but I am going to show you one of our projects that we did at our in-person event, and it was one of our Friday night projects, and it was a different take on drop shadowing. And so it's going to kind of ping pong different colors of drop shadowing, and it wasn't intentional at first, but then once I looked at the colors, it's like, okay, let's try something new. So it turned out really, really fun. And then there's a sponge technique as well.
Yeah, Carrie's your gal. When you want to watch the drop shadow videos, skip mine. unless you want to feel comfortable with somebody who's uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I know how to do it, but I just don't prefer to do it that way. And so then I'm usually like, oh man. But if you are not good with a liner brush, that's my problem, is I know with the liner brush, I could probably beat Carrie in the drop shadow department.
I guarantee.
Yeah. So it's super easy if you have that skill. I only have 35 years of experience, so I prefer to brush drop shadow, and that Carrie's your gal. She does the best drop shadows.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I will pay you with a snack later.
Oh, I get a snack.
Our friend Vicky said that she told her dentist this morning that they had to be fast because she had things to do and lives to watch.
Good job, Vicky.
All right, so I think that we are good and we are jumping in. We have a couple of things going on today. Today is May 14th, 2024, and we have released new fall standing surfaces. Most of them come with a base. One of them does not come with a base, but the rest do. We have 6 new surfaces, a lot of them stacked. Today we're going to show you what they are, what the sizes are, give you some examples of how you could paint them. They are on sale at an introductory price, and I will share that link. But we also have a fall stencil sale going on today. So since we are in fall theme, we decided to go ahead and do fall stencils, and the fall stencils are marked down quite a bit.
Yeah, you guys, take advantage of these sales. They can't always happen. We ping pong, into some sort of balanced state of being. But let's talk about these surfaces. Okay, I'm going to start with the one that's in front of Carrie because she's built herself a pumpkin wall. And there you go. Okay, so what's cool? Where this started was I saw something on Pinterest or someplace, and I was like, now wait a minute. Why aren't we standing more surfaces? And then, that kind of thing. So I was like, Dustin, let's you and I. And so we traced out some shapes and some styles and some images and stuff. And then Dustin scurried off to his computer, and he built and wiggled and waggled and did all the things, and then prototype and all that kind of stuff. And so this is the culmination of that work. So number 1, now these are not all glued together. This base needs to be glued, but we want to be able to take it apart for
showing purposes.
We don't have room to store all these things standing. So, but now actually, if you take these out of their base, they're flat storage. Okay, and then your base is flat storage. So I guess we can glue our bases. I wasn't thinking that through. So, but this comes with a 2-piece base that has holes all the way through it. So when you get it, you have to make sure before you glue anything that everything is lined up. So I would put my glue underneath, and then I would jiggle it around thinking that I have it lined up, and then I would place the pieces in it to make sure it's locked down, and then let the glue dry, take the pieces out.
Well, let's talk real quick about why these bases are 2 layers. So when we started off with a 1-layer base, and things were standing, but things weren't standing to how we wanted them to be. So we added a second base, we added a longer notch at the bottom so that they would stand up straight and just look really nice and professional.
Yeah, they get they get a lot more support by having that second layer. So you just definitely want to make sure that you get them lined up before you glue them together. If you ever jack that up completely, contact our customer service and we can cut you. We'll charge you for it, but we can cut you another base. So that's not a problem. Okay, what I like about this one is there are 2 pumpkins on one plane and 1 pumpkin on another plane. If you reverse it, this pumpkin can be in front or it can be in back. So you can change the entire look of what you're doing by this. So I'm going to go ahead and put the pieces in. So, and that goes on that side. There we go. That's a satisfying little crunch. I didn't compare these just now. Like I haven't seen these for probably a month or 2. And so then you can totally do these lined up this way. Carrie's done these with her pattern stencils. So that's a really big trend, is to do black and white pumpkins for whatever reason. They're just really elegant looking. And then we put this grateful word in front of it. You can glue that on, or you could use some of the little tacky strips and stuff like that. So either way, so that you could take it off. But yeah, I think that just looks so good and just finishes the look. And if you wanted to change it up, you could turn this around and put this pumpkin in the little slot in the back, and then it would totally change the look of it. So I am going to take this apart so that we can see everything we're doing here. The studio is a good size, but it's not that good size. Okay, so I'm going to put that one aside.
And so one of the things that we are doing today is showing you the surfaces, and then also showing you some different design options of how you can paint these, how you can use patterns, how you can use stencils that you may have on hand, just to kind of get the sparks going a little bit.
Get the juices flowing. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you is another one that has a front and a back, and so you could reverse it either way. And then this is what they would look like. And I want to show you the back sides of these because I think it's important. We painted these as something fall, but these are kind of like building shapes. Like they're just a nice shape. It could be an apple shape. It could be, you know, whatever kind of thing you want to call this. But it could be something other than what we did. And what we did, I think I want him to be behind, so I'm going to switch it. So we made them into 3 jack-o'-lanterns. And so if I put my glasses on, I still wouldn't be able to see because it's at the wrong intersection of my eyes. So now you have 3 little jack-o'-lanterns that can be on your bookshelf, on your table, in your fireplace grouping, that kind of thing. So what I love about these is it gets the paintings off the wall and it gets them on the table. It gets them like this painted back and front. This would be so cute on your dining room table with a little bit of greenery and a couple pumpkins.
Yeah, and Janet said they could be firecrackers. They could be like a,
yes!
4th of July thing.
I love that thinking. Janet, please fire some more. Love it. Okay, I'm going to take this one apart. So you can find all these in whatever link Carrie's going to share with you. There's a collection, I'm sure, yeah. So I'm going to hand that to Steve. Steve Ball. Okay, now we'll move on to these little pumpkin shapes. So what I love about these, they're kind of the same thing as the other, except for these are meant to go on your wall or hang or whatever. And we've got a line on a new little hanger system, but a little command strip back here would do the trick, so that's not a big deal. Anyway, so that is what they look like on the back, and then this is what Carrie did with them. So this is your tea towel stripe. And then this is, you can take your Hello Pumpkin that you have going this way. So when you think about your stencils, we've got our book system going, right? And so you can flip and shop your book and be like, okay, what do I want? I want to use these pumpkins, or I want to use these words, or whatever it is. You flip through your book and you can find, like maybe I want this give thanks to go up and down. So, you know, you can choose whatever you want off of your stencil pieces, so you don't have to use the stencil whole. And I think that's something I want everybody to really grasp onto, is you can use the stencil in pieces. And today's lesson, the painting lesson part of this, is going to be me showing you how to use like a bunch of things all together. So anyway, aren't they cute? Love them. And I love the little curly top on top. These are all exclusive to us, so when you get them here, you know that you won't find them anywhere else. Okay, let's go on to this guy. This guy has an oval base, and it is just even, and it has a 2-part oval, but it has a stagger, so it's stair steps. And if you're going to, when you glue these together, what you want to make sure that you do is you don't varnish the base, and don't bother painting the bottom. And then when you put them together, then you can varnish around that base, because varnish does not like to glue. And I'm sure there's a glue that will do. I'm rhyming Dr. Seuss today. If you have a glue that glues well to varnish, let us know in the chat, because like I don't know that I've really tried. So, okay, this is one of the layered stencils. So this is surfaces, and it's lightly etched, and I'll show you the etching on one of the other ones that is unpainted. And Carrie put the R on there, and then she made it so you could do something on the back side and just did a little hello pumpkin. So that is, so you put this little guy in there, and then you can glue or whatever to the front of this. It does come with a tag. However, when you put the tag on this one, it covers up the R.
Yeah, so if you did it the other way and did the hello pumpkin that's at the bottom, then you'll just, you know, you can do it with or without the tag.
And the tag can be used for any other project. You know, so that's super cute. And then you can paint your tag with whatever you want on it. Okay, so there's that guy. And you can see they're not tight. It's just a matter of getting them lined up together. That part just takes a little bit of like tweaking. Okay, so now we're going to go here. And we've got one more set to show you after this one. And then we're going to start painting. And I have got a treat for you today. Okay, so these are interesting. So fascinating. Okay, so they come with 3, and I'm not going to show you the third one just yet, but it's a taller one. Anyway, so it comes with these 3 overlays. This is a very, very, very trendy thing to have overlays on pumpkin and do, like, you could do them all in cream or whatever. You could do them in multicolors. You could totally pattern the tops, the bottoms, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of things you can do with these. And then what's neat is it has a little kickstand, okay? And then the key to the kickstand is it's actually cut through. And then this is that etching that I was talking about. And so the kickstand just goes on the back and then it stands. And I like this because it's just a little teeny profile right there. It doesn't take a lot of shelf space. So you could have little pumpkins wherever you wanted them. And then these glue on and that covers your hole. And then they're in sizes, which I love.
And I like these because you could use them as a set, or you could use them in 3 different places in your home, and then you can paint them for each room.
Give them all as gifts. Yeah, you could totally have fun.
And for the price of this set in particular, since they are 3 different projects, like, it's a really good price.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, and then this is what I did with the one that is the bigger set. So I'll put the kickstand in. And then what I did, and if you guys want to see a lesson on this, because I think it is interesting, what I did is I did an ombre fade through a stencil all the way up. And I just think that looks just super elegant. And then to mix it up even further, I gloss varnished just the top pieces. And so what that did is it just made it one more surprise element. It made it like more sophisticated in a way, but I think it's just a really interesting piece. You got to have your ribbon. I have been working that ribbon rack out today. So,
well, and the funny thing is, so we kind of tag team to do these samples, and I ran out of time, so Patty started working on this one. And I had intended on doing it the opposite way and do the pattern on the back
which
layer.
is a great idea.
And then do a plain color on the front. And I love that there's the different options that you could do it vice versa, but I really like it, the pattern on the front piece.
Yeah, but I think that this pattern on the back piece, or chicken wire, if you wanted to rustic this up, some chicken wire back here, because these spaces are definitely big enough that you could catch what's going on. And I pulled a piece and showed Carrie earlier, 2 pieces actually, and there's things that I had done like years ago, and there was a surface and a paper and a crackle and a burlap and a paper, and it was like all these layers. And it just, if you're mixed media and you do any of that kind of stuff, then you would fall in love with taking these things and just running with them, because there's so much you can do. And the layers are already there for you. Okay, so now this one is the one I'm going to paint on today. Not this one, but the one that's already prepped. And so it has an oval base, okay, and it is a little, now I thought this was really cute. It's a witchy poo hat, right? But is it? Hang on, I got to get that in there. Line it up. As I was painting it today, there we go. As I was painting it today, it became a gnome hat. It became Santa's hat. It became a witch's hat. It became an elf hat. It could be any kind. It could be a winter hat. It could be
pilgrim.
Yeah, you could do a pilgrim with it. Yes, oh, good call. But yeah, so it could be any kind of hat, so it doesn't have to just be one type of thing. And on my piece, I want to suspend some bats from its little curve, which is one of the reasons we made it that way, is so that you could actually dangle some things in this like white space right here. And so I drilled a hole, well, Steve drilled a hole, but we drilled a hole separately. It doesn't come with that hole drilled, so you just need to be aware of that.
But it does come with the bat. So the bat does come with the bat. It does come with the bat.
You could just wrap the wire around the
You could, yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
could
and
wrap
that's
it.
what we did in our sample that we showed on the website.
Okay, so what I'm doing today is I am shopping. Let's talk about some shopping, guys, shall we? So we've got the book idea here. This is the disc binder system, and you get the punch on Amazon, and we've got a link to it down below or in the whatever you call it. Yeah, share link. But this is such a cool system because you can take and make books out of your stencils. And this is really important, so I'm sharing because of that reason. And so I've stacked up the ones that I'm going to use today. So you can just pull them straight out, and then you can pop them straight back in. And I'm only so passionate about this and share it so often because it freaking works. And I cannot wait to share the final verdict on things that we have going on with it. Okay. I needed a Halloween word, and I needed it to fit from side to side on my hat. So I went shopping through my book, and I looked for stencils that I have, and we have way more, and I made a very big list while I was looking on the website. Anyway, but I needed just that Halloween. So even though that's a really cute stencil, I just need the Halloween. So today I'm going to use only the Halloween. And then I wanted to do these background words. And so the background words are super cool, and I'm going to show you how to fade them and make them background words today. And then one of the things that we talked about for the pumpkins, instead of this quatrefoil on this guy, is using that leaf pattern, which is my new favorite background stencil of all time, and using that to make a pattern on the pumpkins, which would be so gloriously adorable. Okay, and then I needed, let's see, did I pull more? I think that might be it. Okay, the other one is over here. I think I did a circle too.
Yes, you did.
I've got the circle on there. That's why it's not in the book. Okay, and then I have this guy. And one of the things, a couple of you guys have shared how you organize your stencils, and I would love to see more images. We're not, if we share an image and get inspired and share it on social or something like that, we're not going to use your name. Just so that, you know, if the rest of your craft room isn't quite prime, then, you know, you don't get called out.
Yeah, we've gotten several images. We asked for some stencil storage pictures, and nobody sent it privately. Everyone sent it publicly.
Cool.
So they're all like fessing up to what they've got going on.
I love it. And there was some crazy
really
great stuff.
ideas.
Yeah. I got inspired by a couple of them myself. Anyway, one thing I don't like, on our back wall, we have the curtain. Steve, I'll get out of your way. Maybe you can pan. So we have a curtain rod that's attached to the underneath of the shelf. And we've got these little clips. Don't buy those little clips. The stencils fall off. I love these adhesive J-hooks. They do not fall off. You can take them off if you try. But these are little clear J-hooks that are amazing. I need to get dividers for this over here because right now I don't know what is there, and so I couldn't go shop for fall because I didn't know what was there. But I needed a castle or some buildings to go in front of my moon, and this stencil looks really weird, but it was meant to wrap around a paper mache box. And these are the little windows that go inside these little spaces, and you can make it light up. I'm going to show you how to do that. But there's a lot here, so you can get a haunted tree, you can have some big castle, you can do little houses. It's just a lot on this stencil. I love it. Okay, so let's get started. So I have this prepped because we'd never get through it. We just never would get through it. Okay, so I've got a slip slap going on my background. I'm going to show you the big the big jumbo brush on how to drag colors in and out of that. And then we're going to use the regular size domes for this, and I've got a black band taped for the word that I wanted to put there. And so we're going to start with the background words. And it's important that you place it how you want it. So I've noticed my stencil is still on here. Okay, this is important. So maybe I want spooky on there, turn back. The spider in the middle is kind of fun. All right, then I'm going to secure it with some tape. And you kind of want it to be straight. One thing that I found, and I don't think I am straight, one thing that I found when I was measuring for my, measuring for the black line, I used a T-square, and the T-square only works if your walls are straight. And so I was like, these are curved. I hope I'm not leaning. So hopefully I didn't lean. Okay, we're using number 52. I did base with a mix of 52 and, is that 6? Time for glasses. This is the level that I can't see with my glasses. So this is 9 and 52. And I mixed just a teeny bit of this in with that. And then I did a top coat with just this. And so I'm going to go with just a dusting of number 9. Okay, so we're going to pick up some paint, dry paint. And I'm going to swirl, swirl, swirl. I want to control this. I want this to be super dreamy looking. And so we're going to do this on the yellow area. So I'm swirling.
And leaving that original stencil down so you have it as a mask, so that you don't get the words where you don't want them. In this case, we don't want them in the blue. We just want them in the moon. So the moon, the circle for the moon stays on so that you are only doing them there.
Yes. Super great technique. Okay, now we're going to peek. Let's take a little peeky poo. And that's super soft. That's what I want. Maybe spooky can be a little more spooky. Let's peek again. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. So what I want is something there, but not something screaming at me. So this is why I call these background words. We have them for spring, we have them for garden, we have them for wine, we have them for, I think, dads, women. We have them for like
Christmas,
everything. Christmas.
Winter.
Yeah.
Like we have a ton.
Yeah, we have so many. And they are magnificently put together. Jess and Dustin were our designers at the time for these, and they are all done by us and not available anywhere else. Okay, so now we're going to remove the circle. And so now I have a moon. And now let's go ahead and, do I need, yes, I need this one more time. So we're going to Halloween next. So you'll notice with this technique that what I'm doing is I'm going to be carrying the colors through the piece. So it's important to do that because you don't want an isolated color. If I had just like one yellow thing right there, like it might work, but it might be like your, the big chunky necklace that you put on, and sometimes it's just like pizzow, that's the thing you need. But sometimes it's nice if your earrings, and today my earrings and my necklace, one is gold and one is silver. Wrong, don't do that. But so sometimes, you need gold earrings with your gold necklace to just pick it up and drag it around a little bit. Or maybe a little hair scrunchie that has organic in it if you're doing a wood necklace. Mm-hmm. So there's reasons to do things. Okay, so now we're going to get this even. And I'm going to use my finger. It's about one joint out. Make that a little bit even. And I'm looking at the bottom to see if I can see how much distance there is, and I feel like that's okay. If it is not okay, you can all laugh at me and it's going to be fine. All right, so I'm going to tape both sides so I don't get anything moving. And then we are going to go into our yellow color, which is our number 52, and we're going to neutralize our brush. So I'm going to make it more yellow than rust colored. Then I'll pick up some color, and then I'm going to go ahead and stipple, and I need my multi-maskers. If you guys do not have multi-maskers, you are missing out. These little guys are handy to block paint from going in the hole next door. So I don't want my happy on this Halloween. I want Halloween on my Halloween. So I can just mask that, and that is going to make it so I don't have to tape and reuse tape. I do not like taping. I already taped too much. Okay, so we're gonna pick up some more. And I would love to know when you guys start painting Halloween. Like if you're painting for business, like let us know that. And when do you start? Halloween, fall, any of those mixed together seasons. Okay, now we let that dry, we do another coat, but because we're not overloading our brush, then we can go pretty much right back to the beginning and do the next coat. And then I have a little trick I'm going to show you in a minute.
When we're talking about it drying between layers, that is really going to depend on the size of your surface and the size of your stencil. So on the black and white ones, I had a really big polka dot stencil, which was lovely because I only had to lay the stencil down and did not have to move it. But for the one with the diamonds, I had to move the stencil 6 times.
Yeah.
And it only had a few holes. So then I had to start, I did a layer, had to let it blow dry, did a layer, had to blow dry. And then you have to move it, and then you have to start over. So when you're thinking about the size of your stencils, the size of your surfaces, if you get annoyed by having to move the stencil to do your backgrounds, then larger background or larger patterns and background words might be beneficial to add to your collection.
Yeah, it's really a thing. I had to move my stencil twice for the quatrefoil one, and it wasn't too big a drag. The contrast was really easy to line everything up. I did put these on a towel when I did them, and I laid them all even, and I taped my stencil to the towel and to the pieces, and that kind of kept them still so they weren't like sliding around on my table. So that worked. That was a good thing to do. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little ombre. So I'm gonna wipe out all this yellow paint, and we're gonna pick up this rusty color, wipe it out, and then we're going to start at the bottom and go all the way across. If you give weight to the bottom, then it anchors your piece. Now I'm going to dry rub or swirl to blend it into the yellow. And so now we have a simple word ombre. I'm going to plop that in water and pick up a clean brush. And I'm going to do one more swirling layer of the yellow, and then I'm going to mix it into that orange. And then we reveal, and then you have a ta-da!
That looks so great.
Ombre. So, and then what it does, notice what it does, is this is my yellow up here, and then this is my orange down here. So it also brings those colors into the piece, and so you don't have isolated things happening. You do not want isolated colors. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to bring things into the background. So we're going to bring out Mr. Jumbo Jumbo. If you haven't seen these, is this a 5/8? This is our 5/8, and then that's the jumbo. Look at the massive difference on that. It made this technique a snap. I did it in, I think, the whole entire, like, I did 3 colors. I did several coats on the top and the bottom, and I think I was done in 5 minutes. Like, it did not take any time at all, but that is the difference in the sizes. This is a keeper. You don't need 18 of them, but I would definitely go for 2. Today I'm going to use 2, but you want to just go ahead and have a couple of them on hand for when you need to do big techniques. The Jumbo Dauber, these guys, it's actually, you know what? They're about the same size as far as the circumference. And so, but these won't do everything one of these will do, and this won't do everything one of these will do. So that's super important. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to get some purple, and I'm going to, this is a number 1, and I believe its name is Patty Purple.
I think so.
And when I was in high school, I was crazy about purple. I was like a little old lady in high school. But I look really good in purple, so that's probably the reason why. Okay, so something that we need to be careful of is our moon. So we're going to be kissing the edge of this, and I probably will use 2 brushes. I'll probably use one of these and this monster right here. So I want to go in here. I'm going to get my multi-masker, just in case. What I love about the multi-masker is it has a curved edge. So I can put it right there on that curved edge, and I can get in there, and I can just pull in some purple, and then I can walk it around. And so I can pull that purple up, and it's not going to get on my moon. And the same thing over here. Isn't this the coolest technique? I think it's just amazing. These brushes are magic, you guys. So I'll pull that in, and then go along here. We'll give it another little kiss or 2 along the edge, just to not make it be lonely. Okay. And then we'll switch into the big guy. And so you want to bring out the big guy when you need to do big movements. So I want this hat to have that purple really big over here, and I don't want it to get stripy, and I want it to flow really nice. So, and then notice I'm going right over this slip slap technique that I did, and I am just really reaching big to get that technique done. And then I can go into a teeny bit of white with the purple. It's paint conservationist over here. I am the biggest waster of paint, I've decided. It's a true statement. I always squirt out a whole bunch.
Same.
I don't know why.
We have lots of people talking about when they start painting for fall. So Carol says that she's going to start painting fall themes in her August classes. Sue says she generally starts Halloween and Christmas after the 4th of July. Amy is getting ready to do her first workshop at the end of the month, and that's going to be 4th of July themed, and then she'll switch to fall.
Love.
Carol says that she starts in July or August for Halloween. So everybody is getting ready.
So it's kind of like, so Carrie and I are pretty avid gardeners. And so it's kind of like getting ready. So you shop for your seeds in January, but you can't do anything with them, at least not in Ohio, until I put things out in March, the cold things. And so like it's the same thing. You get your plan going, and you get your product here, and you get that all going, get your surfaces gathered, all of that kind of stuff. And then you can start marching towards it as you do the thing. So, all right. So now I mixed a little bit more white, and we're going to go and just kind of wiggle around in here. If I get anything, I've got a little bit on my black, so spit's the answer to that. Now that we're not COVID, I can do that now, right? All right, so we're gonna put these into water. I think I am done. La la la, nope, I'm not done with this guy. So we're going with our background words, and this is the really clever part. So we have to line up Rust in Peace. And so then we can put our tape there. And now we are going to neutralize. I don't think this is going to show without some strength to it. So I'm going to mix a dot of black into it. So that's like a brush mix on my palette. This is hair gone wild. It's like all over my eyes. And then we're going to be careful not to get any of this on the moon. So, but we want it to connect. So let's see if we've done a good job of making it visible. Yeah, it's sort of visible. Hang on, new paper towel. I think I'm going to go into just black with a touch of purple. Okay. And so now around our moon, we protect. check it again. I'm going to show you guys in a minute. And a little bit more black. I didn't get my blue. My blue was much lighter under my moon. And so my lightest area isn't up here so much. So right now what I'm fighting is the darkness of the blue. So I'm having to go with black, and then I'm going to lighten it up as I get taller and higher. Okay, and then Frankie, Mr. Stein. And I'm just being a bad teacher today.
I know, the suspense
I know, right?
killing us.
Okay, I'm showing you on the next one. I need to get enough on there to make it worthy of showing. Okay, so now we'll go one more time on Frank. And let me show you what that looks like. Upside right, I believe. No? Upside right, I believe.
Yeah.
Overthink it, they said. Okay, so see how that continues out, and it just adds to the background, but you're not doing extra things to it. You're not, so we've got to get our S over here.
Okay, I just now saw it. I'm on a delay.
Okay.
It looks really cool.
So just need to move our multi-masker around. And then come around here. Like, isn't this the coolest technique?
It is a super cool
To
technique.
fade from one to the other, but using the same stencil and just carrying it over. I love this. Okay. Already did this one, but I'll do it again. Okay. Now we're stuck because now we have hit the middle. Okay, so, look at those words. Yes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go find the flat of another, maybe we'll go vampires.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Vampires. I don't like the vampires because they kind of scare me, but because there was a show when I was a kid, my golly, I would take naps with it on and I would have nightmares. So yeah, vampires scare me. Anyway, so we'll go up into this color. We're going from Scream from Monsters. And we just connect the dots. Ooh. So now see how that got just a little bit strong? So I want to go with my paper towel and just kind of pull some of that down. And then I'll show you what to do about it in just a second if I don't still like it. And now we can shove just any old word over here. Maybe haunted house. I like that because the S comes down. There. And we completed all of our background words, and I freaking love this.
I do
It's
too.
fantastic. Go into another brush. If you're being strategic about your brushes, you can keep them in a plastic baggie, and you can, make them last a little longer. Okay, so now we're going to do dreamy. Okay, so we're going to do some of that dreamy kind of movement, which I love to put in pieces. So we're going to pick up our purple and maybe a little bit of our black and then a little bit of our white. And so we're brush mixing and we're really wiping off. Okay, so when I say really, like go back and do it 5 more times, 10 more times, okay? And now we're just going to come down the hat. See if we got it light enough. And we're going to make swirls and we're going to move. I don't have it light enough. So I'm going to repeat in the area that I just did and really wipe off again. We don't want it to be white. We want it to lean purple. So you got to get your balance. The best advice I can give you, besides trust the process, is to dust so lightly when you start, just like very, very little bit of paint. And then as you're walking along, and you like the color, it won't, like I got the Scream word in front of me. So that's the word that I wasn't loving, that it was so bold. So I can do extra this right over that Scream word and notice it just backed down. So we're gonna bring it around And then we'll bring it over here to the tip. And then we'll come over here. We'll get back into our multi-masker. So I can get right up next to that edge. Hello. And then we can come down here just a little bit, give it a kiss. Pick up more. So now I've got it more white. I'm going to come back up to the top and I'm going to very gently dust within the middle of my path. So now that's picking up more color, more drama. And I like to do like a little bit of an S shape, that kind of thing.
So this is going to be similar to the smoke or the fairy dust. It's the same technique used just with different color schemes.
All right, I'm going to plastic bag this because I might need to pick it up again and do some stuff with it. So I'm just going to, this is the full top bags that you can get for sandwiches back in the day. Okay, and now we need to go into our yellow and we need to do, we'll do white. Same thing. Pick up white. We're going to make a blend. Pick up more white. And so we're going to come right through the middle of our yellow. And then we might want to have maybe this circle back around and come out the other side. So now it's misting and dreaming through both of those areas. Cool. All right, and then into plastic bag, just in case I need them again. And I am loving this.
I know.
So
I am
cute,
too.
you guys. Let us know what you think. I hope that this is sparking some creativity in your heads and stuff and being like, oh, I know where I could use that. The first time I did this technique, I learned it out of a book in, my Lanta, it has to be 30 years ago. And it was a Cinderella pattern that had Cinderella's magic wand doing the thing. And I was like enthralled. Okay, so now we have to go find ourselves some houses. Because now the houses are going to go, so notice what we did. We did a technique background. We did a word stencil on the back. We put our moon there. That's the words there. We carried our color around. Now we're going to go and get a nice big old black house. And so we're going to lay that in front. And let's center that just a little bit more. And what am I doing with my tape? It's all on the stencils. Never, ever store your stencils with tape on them. Okay, so this guy's going to be my house on this side. This guy's going to be the guy in the middle. And then this little guy is going to get flipped over. And
I have
go
an
over there.
idea. Why don't you put your other stencil back down, your circle stencil back down so you don't get your houses out? Are the houses going to go over all of it or just over the, okay.
Yeah, they'll go over all pieces of it. Steve, could I get a couple of dome brushes, please?
We have a lot of people saying, I really like this lesson. This is an awesome lesson. Love it. I love the background stencil. Your Tuesdays are always good, but today is out of this world.
Yay.
Love the dreamy look. It's sparking on getting some new surfaces.
Yeah. Thank you. Everybody say thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
He's
Steve.
letting us finish his lesson. Okay,
It's like I'm hungry.
I know. Who's hungry? What are you eating for lunch?
Everybody else is already done with lunch.
Yeah. Okay, so on this case, I want to get my black to cover really well, so I'm going to stipple, and you all know how I feel about stippling. The next step will be, will not be stippling. Okay, now I don't want this fence area right there to go, so I'm just going to block my house. I guess I do, because it's connected. Okay, we'll give it a couple pieces of fence. Not there though. So then the black covers in the moon. And then the buildings are silhouetted. And so it's a dark, stormy night.
guys will have to let us know which one of our new surfaces that you like the best.
I want to know.
According to the orders, the standing pumpkin trio that we had in the black and white pattern has been the most popular.
I love it
so far.
Yeah, all of them. Like, so we do a really good job of filtering ourselves. We had 13 or 14 things, and we were like,
narrow it down.
Narrow it down, get your favorites, don't push everything. And so we did. We narrowed down, and we really like the ones that we chose. I have been biting at the bit to get these fall things going. Fall is my very favorite season to paint for.
June asked, are you stippling because of the open area?
I'm stippling for open area. Good question, June. I'm stippling for open area, and I'm stippling for coverage. Because just like yellow over black would be hard, black over yellow is going to be hard. And stippling will always give you more coverage. But to even this out, see my moon shape right there? Notice that's just shining through. So I'm going to go over here and just give that a little tappy tap makeup. Pretend like it's a zit or something. You want to just cover that thing up. You don't want that like hanging out there. So,
might be good there.
what is that?
A dauber might be good there.
Dauber probably would be, but there's a lot of fine detail on this. Like these little fences.
Yeah, with the fences are such a small design that you might have to find yourself even swirling to the left and swirling to the right to get into all the corners.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hit the blow dryer though, because now I've got it on thick enough that it's got to get dry. Okay, so remember that you can save on the new surfaces, and you can save on the Halloween.
Fall
Is it
stencils.
fall? Okay, so fall and Halloween stencils.
I don't know if the Halloween ones are in there.
Okay,
I think it's just
fall.
ones.
Okay, it's just fall. Sorry.
There's a lot of pumpkins that are in there, but it's more of a fall theme.
Yeah, and so, and then remember to look for sizes. The sizes of the surfaces are listed underneath, and so then the you can look for stencils that are, you know, within a size. I needed a moon a certain size, and so I just, you know, took my measurement from my description, and then I looked for one of the round shapes to find the moon that I wanted, that kind of thing. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. Look how cool that looks. Like, that looks so fancy. Okay, I have to dry my stencil because I'm going to flip it over. Don't forget your stencils have two sides. Okay, so now we flip it over and we go find, I think I'm just going to do that same and make it balanced. I think balanced is okay. So give it a tape. Notice I'm only taping in one spot. I want my other piece of tape. Guys, when I don't tape in two spots, I get a little panicky. I don't always hold everything down perfectly. So I want to make sure that I have my bases covered. Okay, so we want the fence that I already did. So we're going to multi-mask a wall. And then get our third little building on there. Mask that stuff, and then we'll show you how to put windows on really quick, and then we will be done. Oh, how to do the bats. Almost done. Let's see. Do I like that? Okay, we need a little bit more fence. So now I'm gonna go over here, line that one up, and then.
And one thing to be careful of if you are doing your stencil back and front is to make sure that the paint dries on your stencil before you flip it over, so that you don't get paint where you might not want it.
That is a complete fact. Like I sort of did just there, which you saw me licking. Okay, now I am going to, this needs a little bit of this ground, so I am going to just take my stencil brush and just give it some ground. Mask my letters. And then I didn't quite get it all the way down, so I'm going to drop this multi-masker down there and get rid of that yellow where it doesn't need to be. And then see what we think. Ta-da! All right, so we need a couple of things. Do you want to see it go OTT? That's my question. Well, over the top. I need a white wonder. You guys, if you could see our brush situation, we've been painting so much that I need a white wonder, Steve. Sorry. We've been painting so much that we have a few buckets.
Here's one back here.
Yay, Steve, okay, I've got it. We have been going at it. So just to make it cool for you guys, we've been working. But that means we've been using up all the brushes. Okay, so we need a little bit of white. So we're gonna spatter. So you know if I get the white wonder out, you know we're gonna spatter. Generally speaking, we're either gonna make leaves, vines, spatters, something. All right, so we're gonna mix a purple and we need it really wet. And you can spatter with a toothbrush, but what I find with toothbrush spatters is they tend to trajectory. Like you're always gonna get like a line. And with this guy, you get snow, or you can make a line. So I really love that. So we're gonna go over our areas where we did our cool magic dust. And then I'm gonna pick up a little bit more white. So did you know you could highlight your spatters with a highlight? So that's what I'm doing here is I'm highlighting my spatters. And then if I go in the direction of my dreamy, it will follow that path if I want it to. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. All right, so look how pretty, I love it. Okay, and then I think on our moon, we can go into some of the yellow. Now this one I'm gonna have to be careful with because this one is going to, it's going to hit everything around it. And to mask it, what I can do is I can take paper towels, and I've got wet dots, so I need to be really careful. And I can kind of line of sight, and it's gonna get my buildings, but I'm gonna be okay with that. So I should have spattered before I did my buildings. Okay, I did okay. And then we can lift that up. And now we have spatters on our moon. Love it. Okay, so to get our bats, we're doing bats on our wire. So I have some copper wire and I have some painted bats someplace. So here's our base. We're gonna let that guy dry. And then when you put your bats on, what I want you to think about is jewelry. Okay, so I want you to pull it through quite a bit and then wind it up. And then you're going to take the back of your paintbrush, and actually we're going to do a bigger paintbrush. So this one tapers nicely. So we can start on the heavier area and we can just make some windy winds all the way down. And then when you get the windy winds, that is an industry term, you can give it a little pull. And then that's going to give you some of that jewelry droppage, if you will. And then I can do some fat windy winds here and there. And so then when I put it in my project, go in my project this way, then I can totally wire this thing around once and then get a skinny little brush and do some micro windy winds. And every time you do a little windy wind, it just kind of finishes things. Okay, it makes it look like it was an intentional thought. So this one's not tight enough up to the top. So I'll use a medium brush. Who knew that brush size for windy wines was such a big deal? So I'll go back and make them tighter. And now that will hold that guy up, and so that he's just kind of dangling there. You can make your wire shorter or whatever you want to do, but then I'm going to put a second one there. And here's my little guy. Here's my little guy. And wire. And so I've got him painted black on both sides. So I'll wrap this up. I always like to have a couple of things hanging. I don't like hanging just one thing. I think a couple. This makes all the deal. You guys that's paint to sell, this is the deal maker when you see people are like, oh, you know, when you have like little embellishments and they're like, oh, it's a mini ketchup bottle. I don't know why that's amazing, but it is truly amazing. So yeah, you just really need to add just that little teeny bit of sass and jazz. Okay, so we'll bring that, I'll have him hang a little bit lower, I think. And we can wind that up. And then this little windy wine, I'm gonna make it go in front of the hat just a little bit. And so it'll stick out in front. And then turn him around. Let that dangle down. Okay, now we're gonna stand him up.
We don't have to show it on the project, but can you show how you would paint the windows?
Oh, the windows! I knew there was something else I was gonna do.
If the spatters are still wet, we might not want to, but you can show it without actually doing it.
I did want windows. Let's see if those guys are still wet. I think this guy up there is, but I think we can do windows. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Okay, windows are so important. So you can choose what kind of panes you want. So this little pane right here could go way up there. And then you're going to take a small dome brush and you're going to do your yellow and your white together. And then you're going to stipple your lights on. Isn't that so much fun? And then we can have this kind of pane over here.
And there's a couple reasons to stipple these. One is to just get it done. We only are going to do one layer, so you can get it done quick and then move on to your next one. And then also a yellow over top of a black will need either stipple or a lot of layers to show up.
But see how you can just give it a really wonky effect? And then maybe something long and skinny over here. I mean, these are haunted houses. They are not to be perfect, and that is so cute. So cute. Okay, now I got water in my brush. Let's get some white paint. Let me finish my last couple windows.
It's kind of like a house that a kid draws.
Yeah.
Or it's handwritten.
Yeah. Okay, so now we go, and this one will go right over where my paint didn't cover so well. And that'll mask that. And then a little window up there. You guys, that is so cute.
And once again, being careful that when you have your windows that you're painting and then you're moving your stencil to make sure that your windows are dry, or that you don't lay the stencil down on top of it while they're wet so you don't smear the paint.
Yes, and so, dun, dun, dun. So then you put that in its little stand and get it, yep, hang on. Now, one thing I do want to say about this, let's get Just got to kind of find its little spot. Very hard to do on this piece because it's not straight. Aha, that's the clue.
Yes, I found it easier to put it through the top one and then line up the bottom.
And, oh, for pity's sake. Carrie, help me.
I didn't practice.
I'm going to
with
hold
that
it, and we're going to pretend like it went through.
It might be switched around on the base.
Oh, you know, that's an interesting... No, because I thought I
Is it
had
right
it in
in the
there.
middle?
It should be the same way. I just can't. Ta-da. There we go. Oh, almost. All right, we're going to pretend because it does work, and I know I had it in there, so I just can't do it right now on camera. However, I can paint. So then you adjust your little jewelry, and then you have your cute surface and project.
I love it.
Same. Okay, guys. I thank you for being here today. Make sure you let us know comments, questions, giggles about me putting that base on. And we'll see you in the next, the next video on Saturday and then again on Tuesday. See you next week.